the 6-part Path Out of the Pandemic Action Plan President Biden announced yesterday. Stepping back, the more transmissible Delta variant is driving a surge in cases, and this remains a pandemic of the unvaccinated. We know that vaccinations are the best way to beat this pandemic. That's why from day one, we've been working tirelessly to get shots in arms. And we have made significant, life-saving progress. Safe, effective, and free vaccines are readily available to everyone. Nearly 75% of eligible Americans, those 12 and older, have gotten at least their first shot. And now over 177 million Americans are fully vaccinated. That's up from just 2 million when the president took office. And the pace of vaccinations has picked up. 14 million people rolled up their sleeves and got their first shot in August, 4 million more than in the month of July. Thanks to the success of our vaccination program and the resources provided by the American Rescue Plan, we are in a much stronger position than when the country experienced case surges in the past. But we have more to do. The president's action plan builds on the work we've been doing since day one of his presidency. It's aggressive, it's comprehensive, and it'll drive additional progress this fall by getting more people vaccinated, keeping schools open and our economy growing, and decreasing hospitalizations and deaths. Getting more people vaccinated is the cornerstone of this plan. After President Biden announced vaccination requirements for federal workers in July, hundreds of small, medium, and large businesses, healthcare systems, colleges and universities, school districts, and state and local governments have stepped up to follow his lead and adopt requirements covering tens of millions of Americans. Yesterday, the president dramatically expanded the reach of vaccination requirements, requiring through a rule OSHA is developing that all businesses with 100 or more employees ensure every worker is either fully vaccinated or gets tested at least one time a week. Requiring all workers in most healthcare settings that receive Medicaid or Medicare to be fully vaccinated. Requiring all federal executive branch employees and all employees of federal contractors to be fully vaccinated, and requiring all Head Start educators and teachers and staff of all federally run schools to be fully vaccinated. So from private sector employees to healthcare workers, to educators and teachers, to federal employees and contractors, the president is covering over 100 million workers with vaccination requirements. 100 million workers, that's 2/3 of all workers in America. And the president's vaccination requirements are becoming the standard for American workers across the country. Vaccination requirements have been around for decades for diseases like polio, smallpox, and measles. They're widely supported, and importantly, they're proven to work. We know that private and public sector institutions that have adopted vaccination requirements have seen significant increases in their vaccination rates in short order. That's why, since the president addressed the nation last evening, you've seen a chorus of public and private sector institutions all come out in support of the president's plan. The American Medical Association and the National Nurses Union endorsed what they called the president's robust plan. The Business Roundtable, which represents more than 200 businesses that employ a total of 20 million workers, welcomed the president's announcements. And the Republican governor of Vermont, Phil Scott, also applauded the president's plan. Vaccination requirements will help make employees, workplaces, and communities safer and help accelerate our path out of the pandemic. In addition to vaccinations, the president's plan calls for more testing. Testing allows us to quickly detect cases and prevent outbreaks. That's why, as we accelerate the pace of vaccination, the president's plan also ramps up the availability of testing across the country by using the Defense Production Act to accelerate the production of rapid tests. by investing $2 billion to procure 280 million rapid point of care and at-home COVID tests, by expanding the reach of the free pharmacy testing program to 10,000 local pharmacies around the country, and by sending 25 million free at-home tests to 1,400 community health centers and hundreds of food banks. Walmart, Amazon, and Kroger will also sell at-home testing kits at cost for the next 3 months. Together, these steps will ensure that every American, no matter their income level, will have easy access to convenient tests. As we boost vaccinations and increase testing, we're also doing everything we can to keep kids safely in school. Earlier this morning, the President, the First Lady, and Secretary Cardona visited a middle school here in Washington, D.C. to see firsthand the steps the school is taking to ensure kids are safe and in the classroom. They're doing what works, including vaccinations, masking, and testing. We have provided all schools throughout the country over $130 billion through the American Rescue Plan to implement these very strategies. There is simply no excuse for failing to do so. This isn't about politics, it's about protecting our kids. And as the President has made very clear, we stand with the school district leaders, educators, and parents who are doing right by kids, and will take on those who are standing in the way. Last, we continue to support states and improve care for those who get COVID. Since July, our whole of government COVID-19 surge teams have worked to support 18 states as they battle Delta, deploying nearly 1,000 personnel, including doctors, nurses, paramedics, and hundreds of critical supplies like ventilators and ambulances to support strained health systems. And importantly, shipping over 1 million doses of life-saving monoclonal antibody treatments. Yesterday, the President announced additional actions, including doubling the number of military health teams deploying to hospitals around the country and increasing the average weekly pace of shipments of the life-saving monoclonal antibody treatments by another 50% in September. I want to close with this. From day one, the President committed to the American people that he would marshal a wartime effort to lead us out of the pandemic. That's exactly what he's done. The aggressive actions he outlined yesterday build on the progress we've made and will accelerate our path out of the pandemic. With that, over to Dr. Walensky.